Welcome to In Your City Show right here at the Lou Information Station. Put the Lou Info app on your phone. You can listen to the radio anywhere you want. LouInfo.com, watch us virtually. And then, of course, we love if you can subscribe to the In Your City Show channel. Of course, LouInfo.com as well. So we are back with another great show. Our last show was sensational. Love meeting the prongers. And today we're going to take it up a notch because Halloween is right around the corner. I know you were out decorating all day yesterday, making our house. In fact, our neighbor is not into spooky things. You sort of scared a little bit.
She's never watched
a scary movie. How can that be possible?
Her whole life.
That's like so much fun. I mean, I watch it with my eyes closed mostly the whole show, but it's still the adrenaline rush is so fun.
Tell me when it's over. It's like, why are you watching this if you can't?
I'm like, tell me when it's over. That's what I say all the time. Well, the gruesome stuff is what gets me. I jump with the scary stuff, but it's the gruesome stuff that I can't watch. I can't get it out of my head.
Now it's like, how gruesome can we get?
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
It's kind of disgusting. That's all those sick minds we got out there watching it.
What was the one we watched the other night? It was the one where
we couldn't even finish it because it was so ridiculous.
No, we did finish it.
Oh,
it was the one where the old lady brought the box and set it down on her table.
That was scary.
And whoever got the box was like going around losing their mind and wanting to kill people.
Go chop themselves up.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
But no, the other movie we couldn't even finish because it was just so ridiculously stupid. It was like, okay, this is just dumb. So normally we don't do that. But Olive is a little afraid of the decorations.
She is. I got this.
She's not sure she should eat it or run from it.
I've got this tombstone that when you walk up to it, out of the tombstone comes this ghost and pops up.
And we have a bulldog, and they're triggered.
And she was ready to kill it. She's like, it was great.
She's ready to take it down. What do you got going on?
Well, did you know that there's a study out about being remarried? That study says 2/3 of divorcees remarry.
It's because practice makes perfect. Now, is that the divorcee the second time around or first divorce? Did they mention?
That's what I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know.
They say second marriages don't always work.
Right, and then there's people that get married to the same person again.
Yeah, I know someone did that. That's really a bad idea.
Hey, do you know what the average lifespan of a baseball is?
Never even thought about it.
Me neither, but apparently it's 7 pitches. After 7 pitches, they change out the ball and give another ball, put another ball in.
So they have a shorter lifespan than reality TV couples?
You're funny today.
I know.
I
tell you all the time how funny I am. One of these days you're going to catch on.
I didn't read the study, but they say we might finally be close to the era of flying cars. I thought when I had this, so I was born in 61. I'm old. And I thought when I was about 11 years old, we watched everything was space.
Jetsons.
Everything was space, to Space Odyssey, 2001, all these things. The Jetsons. Yeah. I actually thought when the year 2000 came, we would be flying in cars.
Then we'd be stuck in traffic up in the sky.
Yeah.
How do you have a traffic jam in the sky, though? How do you even keep traffic going the right way?
They can't.
Can you imagine the traffic controllers for cars in the sky?
Could you imagine just road rage in the sky? It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a long fall.
Things are flying down out of the sky while you are down on the land.
Yeah,
so I don't think that's ever going to happen.
It shouldn't ever. You're starting to bore me now.
That's all I got.
That's
all I got.
Not like your other ones,
That's all I got. Yeah, these are not
That's
good.
over with. These are great news items there. Thank you for sharing.
I know.
Well, let's get to the show because we're
some of my favorite topics.
Getting a little bit of chills right now and goosebumps as I get quite often because Frankie it's Cambeletti, but his stage name is Cambo.
That's right.
So we've got him and Stephen Drews with us of Haunted Soulz Paranormal Investigations. Wow. So now this is also with your Haunted Garage podcast.
So Haunted Garage is it's a leg into the full company. So Dan Klein, who's the other owner of Haunted Soulz, he couldn't make it tonight. He got sick. But Haunted Garage is Jeremy King's and myself's. And then we met Dan. Dan had the Haunted Soulz Paranormal team. So Haunted Garage wanted a paranormal team. We basically bought into Dan's company.
Okay.
And so me and Dan had founded Haunted Soulz in 2022, and then we came in this year, 2024.
And we were talking earlier.
2025.
So we actually had you in our magazine and did a little story on you too as well. So cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love every time someone comes in, we're like, we've had you in our magazine. That's so exciting to know that.
Yeah.
You have ghost hunting gear?
Yeah. So how
what gear works with a ghost? You're not going to wear like bulletproof vest, right?
But some people do show up that way sometimes, and I'm like, all right, full tactical gear. I'm like, are we swatting these ghosts? What are we doing? Are we climbing down the walls and jumping through windows on them? Like, what are we doing?
Wearing a hockey mask or something.
Oh my gosh!
And he was actually a cop and Marine. So I guess when he sees those things, it's like Jesus.
Ghosts. That's what I want to know.
Like, man, we didn't
When you can't see, one you can see. So
exactly. We have investigations. So we do 12 locations. We have 2 headquartered locations, meaning that we have exclusive rights to the location for 3 years.
Okay.
One of those is in Marthasville. It's Emmaus Asylum or Emmaus Village. And then we have Arcadia Academy, which is an old Ursuline nun academy. So it's very, very haunted, but it's also a wedding venue. So we do limited. We do 4 events a year there.
Did you say wedding venue?
It's a wedding venue. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful.
With ghosts.
And so, yes, well, we separate all that from them. Okay. So that never really affects their weddings at all. And we don't do it in the same weekend.
Don't need juju.
No, we don't. And they don't want that either. So we have select weekends throughout the year. Our next big event there is November 15th. So you'll purchase tickets on our website. You'll come out. You'll meet Steve. You'll meet the whole crew. We've got about 30 souls in total. We're in there's an Illinois chapter, there's a St. Louis chapter, there's a Memphis chapter, there's a Kansas City chapter. Because there's KCK. So we have guys in Kansas and stuff too, and then we have people in Memphis, Tennessee as well. So we run events in all those locations. And how it works is basically the souls teach you how to ghost hunt correctly. And then we have affiliate teams. So he's Spooky Dookie. That's how we found him. And then he has his own little private team that he was doing. And then we liked him so much that we're like, we really want him to be a soul, but he gets to keep like Spooky Dookie. He still can do his things with his friends. They can still investigate. He's just an affiliate, but now he's a soul with us. So he'll run the events. He'll teach you how to ghost hunt.
So there's an actual way to ghost hunt.
Yes.
Spunky Bunky over here willing to get names out. He thought we could go find one when we stayed at the Elms Hotel.
Oh, Elms is great.
Elms, yes.
He's like, let's go. Let's go look for one.
I'm down where there's supposed to be a floating body because they whacked them. Remember?
That's right.
Al Capone and those guys took them out.
Yeah.
And so I'm like down there and I'm talking.
He's a ghost chaser.
And you know what? Hey,
I go, I don't want to bring anybody home with us. Let's go back upstairs. Okay.
We absolutely love the Elms. They do some of the best ghost tours too.
Really?
Yeah, you can actually buy a ghost tour with your hotel room, and they do phenomenal ghost tours in that building. And it's got such a great history with Jack Dorsey and just everything with the pool downstairs and just an amazing collection right there in Excelsior Springs, which is such an eerie type of town in Missouri. Like, and it's starting to come back, which is really nice. It's starting to, nice restaurants are opening up there with Elms. I think Elms is trying to bring it back a little bit. So yeah, we used to do the Hall of Waters, which you guys might be familiar with. It's right outside. It's literally, you can walk to it from the Elms. They stopped doing investigations. We're trying to get them to come back next year and maybe have the souls run it because we know how to run things correctly. People trust us. When the people come out, they get to, even if you've ghost hunted for 30 years, I guarantee you'll learn something from a guy like Steve or myself on different techniques. We're always trying to add the scientific layer. And the one thing that we are, it's debunk or dishonor. That's our thing. And that's how you become, that's a soul's way. The soul's way is debunk or dishonor, which means if you fake something, you're out. Like, don't ever fake on our team. And just don't do that. It's not worth it. We got plenty of TikTokers doing that. Like, we really want to make this something fun. Ghosts don't go home with people. We get all that all the time.
How do you know that?
Because we have ways of teaching you so they won't. You always have dominion over your soul. No one has possession of your soul but yourself. Unless you invite those things into yourself, do you have any problems? So
how do we talk? Let's talk Exorcist then.
Okay.
Do they
talking to the right guy?
I was going to say, that's all Frankie.
Did they invite them in?
Absolutely. So I've been on 17 deliverance teams with the Catholic Church. So I've done 17 of them with the affiliate out of the Roman Catholic Church of St. Michael in Miami, Florida, which is a Roman Catholic church.
When you say someone invites them in, I mean, I don't want any of us to see it, but what does that mean then? Do you realize you're not doing it, or is it by doing seances or Ouija boards?
Yeah,
like that?
You're on the right measure now. So we have different devices that we use, and Steve can talk more to the Estes methods and stuff like that, where most of the questions that we're asking these disembodied individuals is the yes or no questions. We're not asking anything of them. The problem with the seance is that, and a Ouija board or table tipping, anytime, or tarot cards, you are
table tipping, so I have to come back to that.
Okay, yeah. So you're asking something from another realm to help you with something.
Okay.
So just like in life, so in death, if you ask for a favor, you need to return one. And so that's the problem. That's the invitation part. If you start asking questions, if you start asking for your future, if you start doing these seances where you're inviting these things into your body, into your vessel, that is when you start getting into big problems. That's when you start dealing with the demonic, which in the cases that I worked, I would say maybe one was really eerie to me. The rest were nervous conditions. My cousin's was a priest as well that dealt with exorcisms with the Holy Catholic Church, which is the only church denomination that actually can perform exorcisms. And I've gone toe to toe with Lutherans and non-denominational Christians. They just don't have the right ways to battle with it. The Catholic Church invented it. We're the ones that have fought it our whole lives through the Crusades and dealing with demonic entities and the entire run of the Catholic Church, which is why it always defaults to the Catholics. Even if the Lutherans try or all these other types of pastors try to do it, it always comes back to, we got to bring a priest in here that specializes in it. It's a very different walk for a priest. You'll never ever know who the exorcist is in your church. They are hidden by the archdiocese. You'll never know
that. Why is it like no other priest or preacher or?
It's because it's a sacrament. It's the sacrament of Christ. Remember that, like, after you get a little religious here, and you know, to any viewer, one of the things about the Soulz is that we're open to anybody's religion, and we're very accepting of everybody's religion and what their beliefs. And if they want to do seances, if they want to do Ouija boards, we're totally fine with that. You just won't do it on our watch. They can't come to our locations with that stuff, and we don't do that stuff. We just don't, because of the repercussions of other people getting in there and not doing things correctly. The reason why the Catholic Church owns the rights to it is because it's a sacrament. It's something that's been handed down for generations, and they have the most information, the most knowledge. So think of software, right? There's a reason why software developers use a certain language. It's because there's documentation. Right? They're not going to trust the new software because it's brand new. They're going to trust the software with the most documentation. It's the same with the exorcisms. We have the most documented cases. We've dealt with them forever. And the way that exorcism works is very different than what most people and what Hollywood tries to portray. It's usually wrong. The actual rite or ritual of exorcism, which there's two, it's 20 pages long. That's it. After that, did you hear that?
You said that's it. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah. Well, after that, the average exorcism lasts anywhere from 7 to 16 hours, but it's not over. It's called the residual haunting after. Yeah. So that's
why there was Exorcist 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. There's always an old one and a new one. There's always an old one and a young one. Just in case the other one passes. So you always have a backup priest. You know, exorcisms are they're a very interesting subject matter amongst a lot of different people. I mean, a lot of people have gravitated toward clickbait. And although people have the right thing in mind of having dominion over your soul and understanding what that means from Christ's standpoint, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can battle this thing alone. You've invited it in, but you're going to need people to get it out.
Okay.
And it could take months, it could take years. And that's what the movies never portray. People that were once possessed can be possessed again by the same spirit. If it's not bound to the cross of Christ, which is why saging and all that stuff doesn't work, because it needs to go somewhere. Which is why one of the biggest controversies that I bring to the team is, like, I don't believe in haunted objects or dolls, because I'm a demon ontologist. I study the origin of demons.
What about that doll?
Annabelle?
Made
the Conjuring?
Annabelle, and everybody, and the church burns down where she's at. And
how much time we got? I think that there's manifestations. I think that we're now very good friends with the team that was running with Annabelle. We had our controversies in the past, but that particular team, the Nesper team, which is Tony Spera and Judy Spera, which owned the rights. Well, they sold the rights for 5 years to Matt Rife. But,
I saw that.
Yeah. So Elton bought the house or the cottage. You know, I've interviewed people that were ex-Nespers members. You know, there's something to the Annabelle doll, but I believe what we would call an egregore or an elemental or a crawler, which is something that's manifested by ourselves. So we're bringing in negative energy to it. So think about when you bring things into yourself, right? If you think negative thoughts, negative things are going to happen. If you think positive thoughts, positive things are going to happen. It's proven, right? You don't want to be a negative Nancy, right? Because your job looks at you like a cancer. You want to be the positive person that's trying to bring positivity to people that are working around you. It's the same thing with the paranormal. It's what you get, what you put into it. And Dan always says that in the beginning of the night. He always say, what you get, what you put into it. So if you're talking to these spirits, if you're trying to understand what these spirits need or want, and that maybe you can have a conversation or commit to dialogue with them, that's great. But the one things you should never ask is, make me rich, make me a millionaire, make me, give me powers, make me do these things.
Be careful what you wish for.
Right.
Is that's
Wishmaster, right?
As an affirmation when you're saying things or in your prayers or whatever, right? Or
No, affirmations are different because you're sitting there saying, I am wealthy. I am a magnet. You're not bringing anybody else into it. It's yourself. You're manifesting.
What about watching scary movies in your house and opening your door to scary things? Is that opening doors to things? Like I never let my daughters watch The Exorcist in our house. Right. I didn't even want that energy in our home.
Now,
but I do watch scary movies.
No, I don't think it opens the door. I think it's strictly for entertainment purposes. Okay. I mean, I don't buy too much into that.
Okay.
That's just my personal belief on that.
Sure.
One thing, it's a man-made movie you're watching. Right. It's not an actual.
Well, some of them are true stories.
Some of them are, but they're based
on true stories. Sorry.
And it's and in my opinion, again, it's loosely based on true stories. I mean, every lie has a bit of truth to it. So
we watched Monkey one the other day.
Right. So when Monkey,
it was so stupid.
Yeah, that's the one we turned off that we didn't watch. It was so bad. So what about like when my mom passed? The light in my closet was blinking for quite some time. Stopped. My brother just passed in August, and my light is blinking in my closet again, which I was teasing. I was like, "Okay, Mark, I'm getting undressed. This is creepy." Or my brother, and teasing or whatever. But it didn't scare me. But it was kind of weird in the downstairs light.
Yeah.
And you didn't change the bulbs, right?
Nope.
It just stopped. Is it just something strange in my head, or can they use light for a moment before they cross over, or do you believe they stay for a while? And what's the difference between an angelic moment and something that is demonic?
There's a lot to unpack there.
It's so much.
No, you're fine. There's a lot to unpack there. I mean, Steve, I think that Steve has had more experiences than I have. I'm very guarded. I'm very blocked because of my belief system.
Okay.
I mean, the Exorcist question, watching scary movies, does that open up an invitation? The Catholic Church would say yes, it can be an invitation to the dark. However, to Steve's point, they're man-made. Most exorcism movies get it wrong. The Exorcist film, however, gets a lot right. And that is what's scary about that film.
Yeah, it gets in your head.
It does get in your head. It can manifest things. And a lot of kids outside of that film, it was one of the highest circuits of one of the reasons why the Catholic Church hides The Exorcist is because so many kids and so many people thought they were possessed after that movie that they literally they were getting inundated. The rectories were getting inundated with phone calls and then you're trying to, figure out which one's real and what's not. The Catholic Church wants to help you, but there are things that you need to look for as investigators into that type of demonic force. There's things that priests look for. The exorcist will look for they're the biggest skeptic in the room.
Sure.
Never forget that.
It's good to know.
They are very, very skeptical. They're cut differently than most priests. They've dealt with stuff mostly in the third world. Doesn't happen in the first world. And what was the other point? One of the other questions you had was, the
difference between like me seeing my light flickering after a loved one.
Sure.
Is there time before I don't know what your belief is, but cross over that makes that a different type of energy force to a demonic force? Was that someone who was bad one time, or is it just bad energy?
So Dave, you want to field?
I mean,
not that we know, because
to me, it's more of what your
beliefs
beliefs are, your belief system, and how you believe. I mean, the investigator side says, is it faulty electric? Is your wire loose? Is it a bad light bulb? I mean, could it be legitimately? I mean, they can, spirits are known to interact by messing with lights. I mean, they have the energy to do that. They can draw energy from that light to manipulate them. It is a possibility. And I do believe that there are certain spirits. Do I believe that they're all demons? No. But that's my personal opinion.
When you say spirits, are we talking that they're the afterlife of being here?
Disembodied,
yes.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I do believe that. Yeah, they can definitely manipulate things if they want you to know that they're there watching over you. I think it's the way that they reach out. I had a buddy that I served in the Marine Corps with that lost his battle to PTSD, and I think he reaches out quite a bit. And still,
So there's
and
not like a time limit maybe that they're here, that they
Right.
might be here. You know, you want to hope that your loved one goes someplace else. It's really wonderful, right? We all want to believe that there's a heaven and somewhere special after
Absolutely.
being here. So it was like comforting to know that possibly my mom was there for a while or my brother is there
Right.
for a while, but at the same time, you don't want them stuck here. You don't want them here.
Oh yeah.
And is that what your job does, is to debunk or to find if it's real? And if it is real, do you get rid of them? Does someone get rid of them?
So, as in life,
Sorry, I have so many questions.
No, 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 you're
I
right.
know.
I'm like, my heart's racing right now talking about this.
So, as in life, so in death. I believe that if you believe in the biblical text of free will, I don't think that changes in death. I think that sometimes moms and brothers and friends, they hang around a bit just to make sure that the people that they're leaving are okay.
Yeah.
And they want you to know that they're okay. So they can transition on. And I think that's a part of that humanity, the human element that comes out in a lot of the ghost hunting that we don't talk about on TV and we don't talk about in reality TV shows, is that there is a real human element to the idea of investigating the paranormal, is because are these people trapped? Are they stuck? Do they need a way to find the light? Do they need a way to make penance, or do they need closure? Did something really bad happen to them and they want people to know that this person's still alive and I was murdered? This wasn't just, a random death. I think that we have that ability within each other. I mean, thermodynamics prove that you cannot neither create nor destroy energy. So it goes somewhere.
That's
right?
a really powerful statement you
Yes.
just said.
Yeah. So it energy is here. Your energy.
That's interesting. That's interesting for the non-believer who thinks we just die and we're done.
Yeah, that's the most faith-based religion is the atheist. To really believe that nothing is there, that takes a lot of faith. Takes a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
Because there's more into the paranormal than there is into the darkness. I mean, but I also believe that God does harden people's hearts. He does say it multiple times. He hardens people's hearts. So
Did it to Pharaoh.
yeah, that's right. And that's right. And the more that you believe and you buy into that, then he's going to give it to you. It's the same with being habitual with alcoholism, with drug addiction. The more you buy into that, but you see these beautiful stories of what so many great people are doing. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, and there's people that are just doing this stuff with Halo and trying to get people to come back to God, come back to the church. And some of my team is they're believers, they're agnostic, but they're not all Catholics, they're not all Christians. But the fact that what they're doing and how they're believing in things is in a positive way, I can't find fault in that. You'd be surprised how many times you're actually talking to a ghost, been around a ghost, and didn't even know it was a ghost.
Yeah.
It happened to my mother, and we were in Charleston, South Carolina. And we went up to a restaurant called Poogan's Porch because it's notorious for having a haunted dog. And I'm a huge dog lover. And so is my family. So we wanted to go to the restaurant with the haunted dog. Well, my mom walks in and the lady's like, "How can I help you, ma'am?" And she's like, "Well, we have a party of 4. And she's like, "Okay." And then the lady goes upstairs. And then my mom's Italian. She's like, "I don't go. What's she doing? What's she doing? I don't want to go upstairs. I don't want a room. I want a table, So, so she comes out. She goes, "I don't know. There's some baddie woman in there." And so my mom's from Philly. She's very, very hardcore. But so I walked in and I'm like, "Hey, we just met somebody. We're supposed to have a table." And she's like, I'm the only one working today, unless you talk to a waiter." I'm like, "No, she was standing right here." My mom like, "Yeah, she had a bun on her head and a black dress." And then the owner behind her was like, "Did she look like this?" And they showed us a picture. She's like, "Yeah, her." And then that's the ghost that basically does that. She also appears in the mirrors upstairs.
And I'm so sorry to
So
stop.
the real is day
right now, and we got to come back to this, but we have to take a commercial break. We're talking so much.
No, you're fine.
We forgot commercials. So don't go anywhere because this is so much fun. So we'll be right back with more right here on the In Your City show, talking paranormal with Frankie and Steven. So hang tight. We are back with the In Your City show right here at the Lou Information Station, brought to you by our city lifestyle magazines, Chesterfield, Clayton, and St. Charles County City Lifestyle. Also want to give a big shout out to Jennifer Williams with St. Louis Closet Company. We appreciate you so much. She supports local. She's all about local. She is a local business located right over in Big Bend, and she's fabulous. 35 years in business. Nothing they can't do to make your house go from chaos to calm, whether it be your garage, your basement, your closet, your pantry, little bitty teeny closet. They can make it seem so much larger and so much more organized. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being such an asset to St. Louis and making people's lives so much better. We appreciate you. So back to paranormal. We have with us Frankie Cambeletti, that Italian,
Yep.
and Stephen Drews with the Haunted Soulz Paranormal Investigation.
Yes.
We have been talking so much about, I can't quit talking. I can't wait to sit down with you guys again. What inspired you to want to even begin to do something like this? To me, it's terrifying. To you, does it bring you any fear ever? And why did you get started? Your mom probably goes like this.
Yeah, my mom was one of the reasons why I'm actually into it. My mom was very into. She's still not as much. I mean, she's older now, but when she was younger and I was younger, we loved going to graveyards and going ghost hunting. And my mom was very open to it as well. I mean, we had a lot of friends of the clergy in my house. I even at one point wanted to be a priest, and and I'm trying to go through the deaconess right now, through the archdiocese right now, to be a deacon. So I have to be married for 3 years, but and I just finished 1 year this next week. So got 1 year marriage under my belt, and 2 more years I can be a deacon. So that's what I'm trying to do with the Catholic Church. I still want to give back and stuff like that. But for me, it was always about, we had a run-in with a Ouija board when I was a kid, and I never forgot that. And that's how I know this stuff is real.
I played with one too. Am I okay? It was a long time ago. Second grade.
Am I okay?
It might be a little late to ask now.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with it.
That is the most stubborn demon ever.
Right.
I was gonna say.
Like, I like your life. I mean, I don't know that I'd change anything. That's what the demon is saying. Like,
That demon comes out
good.
every once in a while.
it's
Oh, you
just
didn't
good.
say that.
That's for a different show.
You know? Yeah. The boots are questionable, but I let her have it. So we have to, and that's the thing too. I think that like when we had this experiment when I was a kid with the Ouija board, I mean, things got very dark very fast, and we had to bring a Father Wren in, an actual priest father came in, and I remember him saying like, this is a board game. You can't take this, you can't do this. It's not a board game. Like, and when he walked into the house, you could see his skepticism kind of wiped off his face, because it's Florida. It's where I grew up. I mean, the house is 60 degrees. It's 85 outside. And he's just looking around like something's wrong. Like it's just something off.
Mm-hmm.
And, we went on to lose 2 dogs mysteriously over that whole event. So there's something very dark about, but it also was curious. It was also intriguing that I wanted to explore it more. I wasn't afraid because I've always had God. I've always had him on my side. And so when you go into those dark places, when you go into there, I mean, we were just at Missouri State Penitentiary in D3, and I walked down there by myself 5 times. You have this to be a soul, to represent our colors, our team, our cuts. It shows that your bravery is over your heart. So
I'll never make it on your team.
You have to do lonely walks. You have to, to be a soul. It's a 16-week program. There's a whole standard operating procedures. There's the ways that we ghost hunt versus other teams don't ghost hunt. Every soul on my team has done their lonely walks, which basically means they got to investigate by themselves in some of the most haunted places. And you got to earn that courage, because it shows us that you can go and get a person that's freaked out. You can go and get equipment that somebody left behind by yourself. Where you don't need the whole crew to go. And so that has always been like how I started in it. And I started at 17 years old. So 12, 13 years old, that thing happened with the Ouija board. And then I got back into it when I was 17 years old. And then I was basically a solo investigator. Back then we didn't have phones and stuff like that. We had to use our gut. We had to use flashlights. We had high 8s and, that were, infrared kind of. And
that's the best piece of equipment is your gut, though.
Right. And that's where I'm still at. To this day, people say, well, you bring any equipment with you? I'm like, I got my flashlight. I'm good. And a body cam. I've always carried body cam with me, a little IR. In case I do get something, it'll be on camera. But I don't really get into a lot of the stuff, but we offer it.
Inspired you. And I think that's what happens as kids. You watch scary movies.
Right.
Remember that thing, you used to stare in the mirror and you'd say this thing over and over, and apparently you're supposed to see things. I mean, there's some crazy things that we did.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't realize with
Bloody Mary.
Right. Yes, Bloody Mary. That was the one. So I mean, all those things you do as a kid, you just want to be afraid and
stiff as a board, light as a feather.
And then you try to do those things where you can, put the fingers under. I mean, so many stupid things. Opening the door possibly to, to bad things out there like that. Are you ever afraid? You're not afraid, you said. Even as a kid, you weren't afraid when that.
I think when the Ouija board stuff was happening, it was very scary, and we were. Yes, I had never in my life had seen that many shadow people. Like, it would just run by your face. Like, you would just be sitting on the couch and all of a sudden you'll see, poof.
I don't think I've ever
And-
leaned this forward over when I'm talking. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
and
literally
it's
about to
like,
come out
yeah,
of my seat.
but
right
I mean,
now.
I think
Talk
that's some of the
about it.
things.
Be on camera.
Yeah, some of the things that Conjuring gets right. Some of the things that Blumhouse, we're very good friends with Blumhouse. I got a very good friend that works there. Some of the stuff that they get right is the shadow people. Some of the stuff that they get right in their films,
That's
that's
shadow people. Somebody you think you saw something out of the corner of your eye.
it depends on what the motive is for the shadow person. If a lot of times the demonic appear black, but it's not always evil when they're black, all in shadow. It's a revealing thing. I also believe it has something to do with the energy, how much energy they have, because some can, like the picture you showed me, that's a full manifestation. That's the Holy Grail. I mean, that's what every ghost hunter wants in their pocket, is the idea that they saw a full bodied apparition. In most cases, when you see pictures like that, it happens when you're not investigating. You
Yeah,
guys
that
were
was
never, those people were never intending to
There was a
capture
Oh,
picture
no,
of
a
that
loved
was-
one.
I was taking a picture
Getting
of
some-
the kids with their presents.
And that's when the best pictures are always taken.
That was just probably only maybe a week
week after.
after.
Yeah, I mean, when the Warrens captured the kid in the Amityville house, right, the child that had just died, it was very fresh. The Lutz family had moved in. They had gone and done an investigation after Lutz has moved out after 28 days, which is why you get 28 Days Haunted, which is where all that stuff comes from, is because of the Amityville, a horror in Long Island. So, there's a lot of history that builds. There's a lot of, like, the 3:00 witching hour. It's actually not the witching hour.
What is?
It's actually it's 5 a.m.
Mhm.
It's not 3.
No wonder I don't like to get up
I know.
all
I
the
read
time.
all these things about the best time to pray is between 3 and 5
That's
because
right.
that's when you're fighting the enemy.
That's right.
The enemy is between 3 and 5.
That's right.
And so as you're praying, that's when you're going to feel more of the spirit, whether it's God
Yeah.
or the evil spirit.
That's right.
But as long God will always prevail.
100%.
God will always prevail. So there's where your faith comes in, where you can't be afraid,
Yes.
whether you're walking down a hallway.
Yeah.
We just went to San Francisco. We went to oh my gosh, why can't I even think of it?
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
very haunting. Walking
Very
through there.
haunting.
I would love to get out there.
And we went to
Makes you feel
Alcatraz.
a lot.
So that was fun. And there were thousands and I mean millions of flies.
Not thousands, millions. It was
Millions of
creepy.
flies
Really?
everywhere. There was hundreds on me while I'm sitting there.
Everyone.
And they're
You're
trying
here
to blame it on
going like this.
on some type of bird thing.
Just
And I'm like,
testing.
Right.
you know what? I remember Amityville Horror. There was flies everywhere too. I go, I'm thinking it's just the evilness that's in this place.
It's very
And it's what it
possible.
felt like being there. In fact, I don't want
Pestilence.
to go back.
Huh?
Pestilence.
Yeah.
Pestilence.
Yeah.
Okay. What
I want to
about?
talk about my house too before we
Oh
get
yes.
off.
Okay. What about the friends that had like angel cards where you say a prayer and you look at the angel cards and it's kind of telling you it's almost crazy how to pop up the card that's kind of going on in your life. Is that considered opening your soul as well?
So angels are a very controversial subject,
Okay.
especially when you're talking to somebody like me who's an ontologist. Angels do not interfere with man's work. It is very clear in the Bible, multiple times. Most of the angels that you read of are not even in the non-denominational Bible. They're in our book. So the Catholics have more books than non-denominational Christians. Non-denominational Christians hover right around 66 books. The Catholic Bible, the actually canon law, hovers right around 74, 76. You can get two different ones. Most of the angels in that are from the book of Tobit and the book of Enoch. So most of those have been, now Enoch's been removed even from the Catholic religion. And there's a reason for that.
I was just saying, how do you remove a book?
Yeah, so they removed it because of what Enoch was able to give away. The reason why most ontologists and people that study Semitic languages believe that Enoch was an actual book in the Bible at one point is because it was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls verbatim. The reason why it's removed is because it gives too much away of the kingdom, and they didn't want people to go down the wrong paths. The problem with angels is that if angels appeared to man, you get into a bad scenario where you have people praying to those types of things.
Okay.
Angels know this. This is how they fell, is because they were guardians. They're in Enoch, they're considered the guardians. They were angels, and they fell to the love and the prettiness and the beauty of women. And so with them, they made it with the children of men, and they had the Nephilim.
Back in Noah's day.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Enoch is Noah's grandfather. So he was a very holy man as well. And a lot of people don't know the lineage there. When you talk about angels, angels do not work for anyone but God. However, in Psalm 82, it is clear that you have dominion over angels.
We are greater than angels.
Correct.
Yep.
And some angels didn't like that. and that's why you had a split amongst the tribe. They are still part of the divine realm. Even demons are still part of the divine realm, and they still have arapantis, which means that they can move wherever they want. They can go wherever they want. They can be wherever they want. The difference between angels and the Elohim, which would be Yahweh God, is that they can neither destroy God, they can't fight God, right? But they're not omniscient, which means they can't be in all places at all times, right? It's just when you call upon them, this is where the invitation comes from. But it's the same with angels. Some people believe in the 72 lesser keys of Solomon, which basically believe that this idea that somehow Solomon could control angels and demons, which is why he lived to 1,000 years and built empires. Is there truth to that? Well, if you look at the Bible as a supernatural book, then yes, there could be truth to that. Dr. Michael Heiser wrote a lot about this before his death in 2023 in a book called Angels, but he's very clear on what angels represent, right? There's Raphael, there's Michael, which is the most, I mean, this guy can blow away earth with a whisper. I mean, they know, and there's the messenger Gabriel, and there's Raphaim, which not a lot of people talk about because he's in Tobit. They're destructors. They do God's will, and they will never appear to anyone. Angels do not appear to man. They've made that promise since the fall. They do not. You cannot pray.
What about the book of the Bible where it tells us we have been entertained by angels?
So it's an interesting dialect, and I've always tried to get to the bottom of that Semitic text and what they were meaning by that. The original Bible is actually written in Greek. It's the ancient Greek, the Koine, and so when you read it there, it doesn't translate that way. So I believe what they mean is that, like, the one thing that I would tell people that with angel cards is the manifestation of artists, right? These people make these angels look beautiful. Angels are not beautiful. In every part in the Bible where you have people that have faced a demon, it's the same thing. The angel says the same exact thing. They say, be not afraid, because they know how they would look to human eyes. We don't have the precepts in our eyeballs, the cones in our eyes to see as many colors are there. We don't have the force, nothing to see what actually is in there beyond the divine realm.
That's why the apostles didn't recognize Jesus.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, because he was in a divine form, right? That's why you have doubting Thomas. So when you read the book as a supernatural book, then the Bible starts to make sense because everything starts to add up. In the case of angels, angels do not make their presence known to anyone. It's
kind of a gimmick or something.
It's not that it's a gimmick, it's that people are misled.
Okay.
So are those ghosts that we're entertained by sometimes? Because my mom, when my father passed away, my mom was sitting in a car. It was like a couple weeks after he passed away. And out of nowhere, this man came up and said she was upset. And out of nowhere, sitting in her car, this man comes up, gives her a rose, says everything's going to be all right. She turned around and he was gone.
Mm-hmm. So that could have been an angel. Right, because God sends angels. He sends messengers. He does those things. Right, there are 7 arts.
She's got a hotline to God. She's that type of woman.
Yeah, and sometimes you do have that beautiful, and the non-denominational Christians do a great job of having that built-in personal relationship with Christ. My child, my own daughter, was afraid to tell me that she was going to be baptized. So her mother called me and said, "Hey, Sienna's been wanting to tell you this for a while, and like it's just really hard for her." I'm like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, you know what? Let my daughter tell me." And she told me, she's like, "Dad, I want to be baptized with my friends." And I'm like, "That's awesome. When is it?" And she's like, "You're not mad?" I'm like, "No, you could have told me you were going to be a Wiccan." Then we would have had some problems, you know.
As a baby.
None.
Catholic.
She was,
Catholic.
but she chose the path of non-denominational Christian, which they do a great job at music. They do a great job at healing. They do a great job at professing and love and proverb. And a lot of people that are in the non-denominational realm, they know their Bible more than Catholics do. Don't be dependent upon the word, right? Like that's what one of the things about like the Catholic religion, you know, we read out of a missalette, you know, but you're always encouraged to read the Bible. But it's always a good thing to have somebody that knows the knowledge of the Bible because the Bible in and of itself can mislead people, right? That's how we got the Mormons. So it's like we have a lot of
interpretation and not going back and reading the original text and
very important.
Also taking things out of context. So many times
Jesus,
other religions take things out of context, and it's like they're not really looking at why this verse was written and who it was going to and who it was talked to at the time that it was written.
Yeah. And that's how you get cults.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you get, you know, people just misinterpreted. The ontology part of the Bible is the most important part. And for me, it's the most fun part to look at the Semitic text and look at, like, did he mean it that way? Is that what he meant by that? Because, there's another story here, but you probably have to wrap.
I know.
I'm
like, oh God.
Yeah.
So
Afterwards.
when it comes to mediums, people that speak to loved ones or think that they are, and they answer with something that, I know there's a lot of people out there that's been found to be false, but there's some that seem to hit right on the line.
Right.
And again, are they speaking to the energy force of that loved one, or is it a different energy that knows the answer? I mean, those are all scary things that you probably shouldn't mess with. Is that right?
Mediums, I mean, like I said, I'm one of the religious ones in the team. Those are necromancers. There are very, very real mediums. There are people that can communicate with the dead.
Their brain has the ability. It's more.
They're allowing it.
They're open.
The Bible
Anybody
tells
can-
us not to be engaged with mediums.
Be engaged and be open to the science.
And I've done that before, and they were right on. Some of the things they said was very, very scary that they were saw. And
once again, you've called that. You've
Yeah.
called that to yourself, which means, and that's what we look for in exorcism. Do they have the known? The known is the most deadliest leg of the exorcism. That's what they look like in the child. And what the known is that if you bring in a 68-year-old priest that's been practicing and has been an exorcist for 30 years, and there's a 6-year-old there that is basically possessed by a demon that's been around for 30,000 years, and he looks at the priest and says, I know you. We've met before. You didn't bind me as much as you thought you bound me. Isn't that right, Father Paul? Or should I call you Michael? And that was the one I was in Haiti.
Oh my God.
And this kid did not speak English. He was Haitian. He spoke Creole. Kid spoke perfect English to the priest.
That's not terrifying to you. That doesn't.
It was horrifying.
Okay.
It was like, all right, well, if this ain't a set,
Right.
this might be real. Let's wrap this up. Let's get this guy to go. He's a 6-year-old speaking English right now. And you're not, I'm just a holder. I'm not supposed to even look at the thing, because it can make eye contact. And
Right.
It was very creepy. Because up until that point, I had done like 15, and I was like, this is.
My head is super heavy right now, like listening to all the questions, the things coming in the mind. And, like when you're sitting there and a song will come through your mind that you haven't heard in 30 years or maybe, and word for word, and you're like, you feel like where did that come from? It doesn't even make sense that it came through.
I do want to put a bow, close a loop though. Mediums, there's a beautiful medium up in Hannibal named Brittany Buckwalter. She is in the light. She does not do anything dark. She doesn't ask anything of it. It's a gift that she has. She always, and there's a lot of mediums that play in the light. They don't play in the dark. It's okay because it's a gift that God had given them, right? It's for witnessing. So some people's testimony is that it's insight, it's clairvoyance. I mean, it could be something very good, but in most cases, what she's dealing with is helping people heal.
Okay.
And I think that's okay, right? Grieving and closure and those types of things are okay. Knowing that the person on the other side that passed is okay makes us feel a lot better. And sometimes those people can intercede and they can do the things.
Yeah.
I personally don't do it and won't do it because of my religion, but it doesn't mean that it's not true.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people trying to make money off everything. I mean, the biggest thing is TikTok, man, with these fake, ghost hunters.
I bet.
Now we got AI.
We are
right. Everything is fake.
I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe.
It's terrifying. So we've got a minute here. So first of all, you need to let everybody know, again, remind them who you are, how they can get a hold of you, and what it is that you do.
HauntedSouls.com. That's Souls with a Z. It has all our investigations up there. There are 2 numbers on the site. The 636 number goes directly to Dan. So if you need a private investigation, if something is going on in your house, we keep it private. Your name is never released. The files that we have go to you, and we don't talk about it publicly. It does not go on our podcast. It is a private investigation. We did one last year with a very, very, very wealthy family in St. Louis, and they were having some very crazy stuff happening into one of their houses, and we were able to clear that and get that out of there and find out what was going on. And it was paranormal.
You actually knew what was going on and know how to get rid of it.
Yes.
And being intuitive, is that an opening when you feel like you can feel and see things more than other people?
Sure.
Gosh,
and you get to hang out with guys like Steve. They'll teach you how to ghost hunt, and
we have a blast.
Yeah,
I think I would be so terrified. Like my head is seriously heavy right now, taking this all in. I believe it 100%. I there's no doubt in my mind what you do and what happens.
It's okay to be nervous. It's human nature.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because you're going into the unknown. But when you have fun with it, make light, things. And a lot of times that's when we get the best responses from things.
I just
It's
got to
when
make
we're
sure when I'm
joking
asking for
around.
money in my life that
Yeah,
it's
don't-
through Jesus. Don't want to
We
have
are
to look
supposed to,
favor
we
the
are
wrong
supposed to
person.
pray in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
If you
There's a-
put,
What
if
gets
you
to the Father, but
if you exactly, and if you put the kingdom first, then God will grant you the things that you wish. That's biblical. And
So
in
again,
Christ, yeah.
Frankie Campbell, Cambeletti, and Stephen Drews, paranormal experts. Gosh, you're fascinating to talk to. I can't wait to do this again, actually. I
Yeah.
can't wait to do it again and learn more and hear more of what you have to say. But again, let everybody know how to get a hold of you again.
HauntedSouls.com, Souls with a Z. Come out to one of our investigation sites. Every place we have is basically non-demonic. I go through it personally. I check all the facilities first. There are places we do not investigate. There are places that we do not hold events because of that. One of those is the Sally House. My team and team members are not to ever ghost hunt there. And if they do, they're to see me before they come to one of my events.
Is that because you're bringing things
Yes.
to start happening?
Yes, and that's
You wanna keep it
that's
quiet.
demonic. The Sally House is demonic. That's a very bad energy there. There's nothing good to be found in that house.
Wow.
I know what happened to Sally and Tony, to Debbie and Tony. They're very good friends of mine, and they have told me, Frankie, do not go in that house.
And you're not looking to bring things up. But
Absolutely.
if someone needs your help, you will go there.
We
for
will.
that.
We absolutely will. We're bringing the right people too. If we need priests, we'll bring priests. If we just need sage, we can bring those people too.
Haunted Souls with a Z. Haunted Souls Paranormal Investigations. Oh my gosh, Frankie and Steve, this was amazing. Thank you so much for spending
thank you.
time with us. And again, I can't wait to sit down and talk with you guys more. It's just so, it's the unknown.
Right.
Yeah.
And we want to know, it's the unknown. So thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you very
Boy, we
much.
appreciate it. I'm so glad we did a story on you as
Yeah,
well.
no
We're going to have to do it again.
Absolutely.
That's something
I
else.
love talking to you guys. Cheers.
Awesome. All right, here we go. We're taking it out now. The In Your City show at the Lou Information Station. We hope you have a beautiful evening. Do not open your soul to anyone. Put the Ouija boards in the trash and call it a day. So until our next show.
Cheers.